Hello, everybody. I'm Mayor Greg Fischer. I want to really thank you for this invitation to address the Kentucky Public Procurement Association Conference. In 2020, we heard the calls for racial justice and equity coming from the streets of our city and cities across America. Those calls were entirely justified. Our city and our country have not done enough to overcome the legacy and impact of generations of systemic racism. We heard the calls, and here's one important way we responded. I felt the urgency to issue an executive order last year creating the Equity in Contracting and Procurement Task Force to address the tremendous gaps that exist in Louisville Black-owned and diverse-owned businesses. We created this much-needed task force to ensure that the Louisville metro community's anticipated expenditure of approximately $5 billion in public capital infrastructure investments over the next 5 years is fairly and equitably distributed and will include Black-owned and diverse businesses. In doing so, this places inclusivity at the heart of doing business, because the task force encourages our largest private and public infrastructure investors to increase the amount of infrastructure dollars being invested in Black-owned and diverse-owned businesses. The only way we move forward as a city is by combining our efforts and our resources around the common goal of creating a city of racial equity. Two outstanding co-chairs lead this task force. Tony Parrott, CEO of the Metropolitan Sewer District, an organization that's already made a commitment to supplier diversity, and Paul Thompson, CEO and president of LG&E and KU. He'll soon be retiring, but they're another great local partner that recognizes the importance of supplier diversity. I am immensely proud and grateful of the work they have done in our community to ensure that our Black-owned and diverse-owned businesses are given an important seat at our growing table. Thank you, and now let's hear from both of our co-chairs.
A lot has happened in the year since Mayor Greg Fischer created the Equity in Contracting and Procurement Task Force. Our initial output was a report that detailed planned capital infrastructure spending and the potential for local job creation, along with an analysis of diversity programs. That was in December of 2020. With 12.6% of the $613 million spent by the task force member organizations in the first 6 months of this year going to local diverse businesses, we have set a baseline for future spending. Our objective is to create sustainable ways to build upon those numbers by sharing the best practices of each of our organizations as well as the broader community. The members cover the utility, transportation, education, housing, and government sectors of the Louisville area economy, representing nearly $5 billion in estimated capital spending over the 5-year period. The structure we have created to keep us on track includes 5 subcommittees: data collection and reporting, community benefits, workforce development, local diverse business utilization, and outreach. In the workforce development area, MSD has just launched a maintenance mechanic apprenticeship program. It will provide on-the-job and classroom learning that will earn participants certification as journeyman maintenance mechanics over a period of 4 years. Along the way, participants are full-time employees who receive benefits and are eligible for pay increases. There are other specific examples of programs and goals in each of the task force organizations that demonstrate the real commitment to equity and diversity. Each such example is being studied by the task force for potential implementation by other members. It has been an exciting first year, and we look forward to greater success ahead. I want to personally thank Mayor Greg Fischer for creating this initiative, and I also want to thank Paul Thompson of LG&E KU for sharing the role of Task Force Co-Chair with me. I know we will continue to do good work together.
Tony, thank you for your leadership to this task force, and thank you to Mayor Fischer for establishing it. LG&E and KU Energy, just like every task force entity, is committed to our community and building our diverse suppliers within it. It simply makes good business sense to do this. Our company has intentionally pushed this effort for over 20 years, and in 2020, we had over $180 million contracted to diverse suppliers. This task force is helping us make that even bigger. As Tony mentioned, building workforce and supplier capacity are two efforts of the task force. Last year, LG&E and KU teamed with Jefferson Community and Technical College to establish a lineman training program. This labor force skill development allows opportunities for suppliers to grow their capability to sell to utility companies. We also helped launch Greater Louisville, Inc.'s Power to Prosper Business Accelerator program, a cohort-style program that will provide small, minority-owned businesses with the tools to advance their business operations. Another tool we've created is a publicly accessible website as a resource tool for general contractors and vendors. The site informs businesses of potential bid opportunities, supports effective information sharing, and outreach programs. So, while there is much work still to be done, this first year has significantly helped our diverse supplier base and contracts with them. Good luck to all of you with your conference.